All right, Shalom, evil, evil. You know, turns out that Andrew Tate, he was his father, he was a CIA agent. Of course, right? And uh, I want to get this. Isn't it this Reddit post? He himself says that his father was a CIA agent. Suddenly, basically censored, like by. Now this was 9 days ago. This was before this happened. That beat, but nope, he shows up in every social media there is. Now Vice is say whatever, another V thing. Basically, he's free to say whatever the fuck he wants without get. Let me get you know, and get this always goes with it. Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, or Sirach chapter 5 verse 15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or a small. And chapter 8 verse 11. This is what's coming. Figureheads, puppets like Andrew Tate and Trump to do this. Amos 8 and 11. Behold, the days come, saith the Lord power Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of power Yahweh. Verse 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahweh, and shall not find it. Verse 13. And that, why? Because it's going to be banned. Verse 13. In that day shall the fair virgins and young men faint for thirst. Verse 14. They that swear by the sin of Samaria, and say thy power, and thy God, O Dan, liveth, in the manner of Beersheba liveth, you 2/3. Even they shall fall and never rise up again. And when you look at what they're doing, man, they had people called, they did a Hidalgo Dale too. They had they funded Andrew Tate, of course, and then had him, do what he did, and then become a hero to the red pill community. And then they had these feminists petition to cancel him, and eventually they're like, okay, we gotta cancel Andrew Tate. So they played the Trump card on the manosphere. That's what they did. They played the Trump card, just like with Trump. They of course set the dude off. He's connected to child through Wilbur Ross, Commerce Secretary. Then they go to the conservatives. They they believe in gun rights and all that, which that's what they're aiming at there. But they're aiming at the first two, because he would make controversial tweets and they'll to cancel Trump off of Twitter and all that. But there was a petition to cancel him off of Twitter, and they right. Alex Jones, man. Same. He's connected to the elites through Stratfor. So they, his father, goes back to Native Americans on his father's side, but also there's sources that say he may be Bill Hicks, and it may be a whole act they put it up, which would make sense, so it could, be Edomite still, but he's controlled opposition, right? And then now they got him, and then they took him off YouTube, so they demonized him, and they took him off YouTube and demonized him even more with this Sandy Hook shit, used it to demonize him. But they set this dude up in the first place, and then they did that just so they could demonize what they call conspiracy theories, the truth movement. Just to demonize the truth movement, the half-truth movement, because the real truth movement is this truth. And so you see what's going on. Use these figureheads, be like, so people be like, oh yeah, just like we had to take Alex Jones out the picture. He was causing too much trouble. Just like we had to do that. Just like we had to take Trump, cancel Trump. Just like we had, for his tweets and shit, Just it was radical. They were radicalizing people. Just like we had to take down Andrew Tate, his comments, his posts, videos. They were radicalizing people. The same thing they're gonna say when they come after us. People are gonna say that. Oh. Or they're gonna come with that. They're radicalizing people, so we gotta do something about it. We gotta do something about these men, Shit, they may even stage an event and say that this person was inspired by by us, and then say we should have done something earlier. Look what we did with Tate. Look what we did with AJ, Skull and Bones. Look what we did with him. Look, we should have done the same with these Hebrew Israelites. You know how it's gonna go. We gotta do the same with them before another attack occurs. Esau might even do that. Stage a false flag. It's all true. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having short wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. This devil's about to come down with great wrath. He knows that he had but a short time. He's about to come down like, man, these men, they're like Tate. They're like the Andrew Tates, like the Donald Trumps, like the Alex Jones of our society. We gotta get rid of them. We gotta shut them down. Because something else that Esau does is he sets a precedent. If we're able to do this to Tate, and this to Alex Jones, that to this to Trump and shit, we should be able to do the same thing to these men, that's what Esau would do. It's another one of his devices, and so expect more social media sites to ban this dude, you know. Expect there to be a backlash, you know. You know, they may even stage an event and say that this man was a listen to Andrew Tate, you know, and he was inspired by him. They might stage a shooting or something and say this man listened, you know. They might, and then they'll use, we gotta ban, we gotta crack down on this, you know, this hate speech. You know, brother Shalom Israel 777 called it hate speech. Crack down on and I believe that brother's name is Zion, that brother out of Philly. You know, we gotta, anyways, we gotta crack down on this hate speech, You know, that be like, I wouldn't be surprised they do some shit like that. You know, use it, you know, to go for free speech. You know, they stay blaming on it. Say it's Andrew Tate supporters getting revenge for Andrew Tate getting banned, and seems to be like, see, these people are dangerous. And what Esau is doing is he's targeting each aspect of the truth, because, you know, the manosphere, you know, they get some things right, like the fact that, you know, these broads, you know, in fact, there's a lot of things they're really gonna make the script problem. They're really gonna make it a problem. Have, that, you know, and the fact that you can let me see. You know, the Bible is about alpha males, you know. Yeah, yeah, right here, man. They going after the alpha because they're going after they're going after the truth. They're going after different aspects of the truth. Like this, for example, you know, Exodus 21:10, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Verse 11, and if he do not these three unto her, she shall go out free without money. So man, and if he do accept, you know, her food and raiment and duty of marriage shall he not diminish. Verse 11, if he do not these three without unto her, then she shall go out free without money, though. What they got here in Babylon? Child support, alimony. So It is the manosphere movement. They get that from the scriptures. You know, also 1 chapter 11. You know, be normal. 1 Corinthians chapter 11 verse 1. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Hamashiach. Verse 2. Now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things and keep the ordinances that as I delivered them to you. Verse 3. For I would have you know that the head of every man is Hamashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Hamashiach is Power Yahweh. That's a cut to feminism right there. That's a cut to feminism. You know, every man praying to prophesying, having his head covered, dishonored his head. Verse 5. The woman that prayed to prophesy, head covered, for that is even all as one if she were shaved. Verse 6. For the woman be not, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. You know, not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Power Yahweh, but the woman is the glory of the man. The woman is the glory of the man. You know, verse 8. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. You know, the man comes from the woman came from the man. You know, verse 9. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Man was not created. You know, we're not created to serve these women. You know, we're not created for that. You know, they're created to serve us. You know, even this. Judge among in yourselves, verse 13. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 13. Judge in yourselves. Is it comely that is beautiful? That a woman pray unto a Power Yahweh uncovered? Verse 14. Does not even nature itself teach you that if a man have long hair, it is shame unto him? Verse 15. But if a woman have long hair, it is a glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. So, you know, that right there is like language. You know, let your woman keep silent. So these devils, they're really aiming at this truth. Yeah. Yeah. 1 Corinthians chapter 14, verse 34. Let your woman keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak, but they are commanded to be under obedience, as also saith the law. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands, for it is a shame for women. Verse 36. The word of Power Yahweh only. No said, right, that all things be done, the author of confusion, but of peace. Not what is that? What is that? That LG, that feminism shit, bro. That's just confusion. That's just confusion. Feminism creates confusion. That LGBT XYZ, 1, 2, 3 shit creates confusion. And the scriptures is against that. So what they're really doing is they're aiming at the scriptures. They're aiming at the scriptures. They're aiming at the truth. They're aiming at the only real opposition. They're aiming at the real opposition. They're creating controlled opposition figures to basically demonize. They make them a hero in that movement. Then they'll demonize and crucify him in the media or whatever. But really, they're aiming at this truth, man. They're aiming at this truth. They're crucifying the truth in the media. That's what they're doing. They're crucifying how in the media. Doing. Also, our Lord Yahushua was crucified. This is what they're doing. They're actually crucifying Yahushua in the media because they're going after everything he stands for. They're going after everything he stands for. And they're getting ready to execute. They're getting ready. They're getting the people ready for that. That's to be ultimately feminine did us. Verse 9, then shall be and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Verse 10, and then shall many be offended, shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Then shall many. This truth offends a lot of people. This truth offends a lot. They want to get. They don't want to. These females, they don't submit. The Eve doesn't want to submit to Jake. The Jake don't want to stop. Even goes further. Jake don't want to stop being a sodomite. Don't want to stop being an adulterer. Don't want to stop eating shrimp, crab, pork, lobster, all that. All them unclean foods, man. Jake don't want to stop doing that shit. Our people too repent. This truth constantly be them hearing about it, being offended. And then Esau and these nations, as for them, forget about it. Of course they're getting offended. Which this truth ain't even for them. They're offended by that fact. As are 2/3. 2/3 want to include everybody. When it's only about Israel. So 2/3 are offended by that because we're coming at Massa Esau, man. They don't want you to come at Massa Esau. 2/3 are offended. They're still in this spirit right here. no king but Caesar. There's still 2/3 still think like this. They'd rather have Caesar. You know, they're still, bro. They're still in the mind state. So of course they getting offended.